It's the day of Kenna's royal wedding, and she's running late. Hurrying up the stairs to her room, Kenna bursts through the door.
There you are! I was starting to think you have run off.
I'm sorry. Busy day.
Well, never mind that. We have to get you dressed.
Annalise gestures to her bed, where she's laid out a beautiful shimmering gown.
The royal dressmakers and I worked day and night, only using the finest Aurelian lace, of course.
Kenna runs her hand along the shining fabric.
Annalise, it's gorgeous.
Only trying to do justice, my dear. Now let's see how it looks on you.
Slipping behind a screen, Kenna changes into the elegant gown, then steps into view.
What do you think?
Annalise lets out a small gasp.
Oh, Kenna, it's beautiful. I've never seen a ruler who better looked the part. Now run along and come say hello a little later when you're not running late to your own celebration.
I will. Thank you, Annalise.
Annalise laughs as Kenna hurries out the door and to the throne room, where she arrives out of breath. Throughout the hall, her allies mingle cheerfully amidst the rows of benches.
Cutting it awfully close, aren't you?
I know. I always like a challenge.
Well, it looks like we've still got a few minutes before the ceremony. Go and mingle. Might settle your nerves.
I will. Thank you, Jackson.
Kenna heads into the crowd. Near a cluster of purple-clad troops, Kenna finds Auron.
Hello, Auron.
Hello, Queen Kenna.
Suddenly, Tevon bursts from a nearby crowd, arms raised wide.
There she is, our resplendent bride-to-be! Congratulations on your wedding, my dear.
Thank you, Tevon. It's nice to celebrate something without the threat of war hanging over us for once.
And I hope for many more celebrations in the years to come. Speaking of which, have you ever been game hawking? I was just speaking with a falconer who swears he can breed birds with purple feathers, and I was thinking we might...
A distant face catches Tevon's eyes in the crowd. He sighs.
Alas, duty calls.
Duty? You're mingling at a party.
We're royalties in peacetime, sweet sister. Mingling at parties is our duty. And I mean to take it seriously.
Tevon bows, then sweeps past Auron as he heads towards another group of guests.
Oh, Auron! Tell Kenna about our gift.
Gift? What gift?
Simply this. A promise. Save for a recent brush with Azura, Fidoria has been quite fortunate in this war, all things considered, and we are well aware that this fact is only true because our allies, like Stormhold, have paid for peace in tears and blood.
Auron lifts her head, looks Kenna in the eye, then extends her hand.
So, you have my promise. In the years to come, Fidoria will do its utmost to ensure that the alliance of the Five Kingdoms is strong, and the life's work of your mother shall never again be undone.
Thank you, Auron. That's a wonderful gift. I'll treasure it.
Auron beams proudly as Kenna shakes her hand, and as Kenna turns to go,
Company, halt!
a troop of Fidorian soldiers marches confidently towards Kenna. Then all stop and salute in clockwork synchrony.
The Royal Regiment of Fidoria formally offers its congratulations upon the occasions of Her Majesty Queen Kenna's wedding. Company, present, arms!
The soldiers in the front line draw their swords and point them forward, blades gleaming in the sun. The soldiers in the back line draw their swords and smack the front line on the back of their heads. Claudius's boot clanks as he stamps his foot, outraged.
No, you blasted fools! Forward and up! Forward and up! How many times do we have to drill this?
He turns to Kenna with a sigh.
Forgive me, Your Majesty. You know how these green recruits can be.
Kenna laughs, patting Claudius on the shoulder as he strides past.
At ease, Commander.
Say stands by the windows, studying the stained glass.
Enjoying the new artwork?
I'm surprised they were rebuilt, while your walls are still a shambles. I will never understand the priority lowlanders place on material things, like that dress. It's...
As Say's eyes flit over Kenna's dress, she can see sparkles reflecting in her eyes. She shakes her head and clears her throat.
Ridiculous.
Kenna hears a scoff from Anu.
Says the girl who used to cry every time her face paint washed off in the bath.
Grandfather?
Kenna laughs as Say's cheeks turn red.
So, are you sticking around after the ceremony?
I will drink and dance tonight, yes. But tomorrow, we return to the mountains.
Say nods towards Anton.
That one is going on some kind of spiritual quest across the 5 kingdoms.
It's called a pub crawl.
Say rolls her eyes.
I can't imagine you returning to a peaceful village life after all this.
I won't be. I'm returning to lead. It is time our people come down from the mountains and remind the world we exist.
Should I start calling you Queen Say?
Absolutely not.
Call her elder, because she is old.
I will always call her Little Say.
Kenna laughs, drawing Say into a hug. She stiffens for a moment, then sighs and embraces her tightly.
I will miss you, Queen of Stormholt.
So, don't be a stranger.
She makes her way towards a cluster of Neverkiss soldiers and finds Zenobia, who greets her with a guarded expression.
Kenna?
Zenobia. So, I guess we should address the dragon in the room.
Whatever do you mean?
Zenobia, come on, you know what she means. Father.
Zenobia sighs.
Look, I'll be honest. I'm not all that broken up about it. I loved my father, but I didn't like him.
Zenobia holds up her hands, palms flat like a pair of scales, weighing the air as she speaks.
He killed your mother and invaded your kingdom, so you conquered his kingdom and took him prisoner. You needed his help, and he agreed. Then he betrayed you, so you killed him.
She drops her hands with a shrug.
As far as I'm concerned, it all balances out. So if you're expecting some kind of blood feud, I'm afraid I'll have to disappoint you, dear. I just don't have the time.
Wow.
Zenobia, that's mature of you.
Well, don't sound so surprised.
Zenobia picks a hair off her sleeve, smiling.
Frankly, I'm just glad this stupid war is over and I can finally get back to ruling.
Kenna hears a scoff and turns to find Natter.
Ruling over Abantus? You can't possibly think that's going to happen after everything your family has done.
And who else is going to run things? You?
Yes, as a matter of fact.
You must be joking.
Why not? The Black Asps have basically been running like course for years.
Oh, please. You think the whole country's going to bow to some order of spies? You'll have revolution inside a month.
Zenobia turns to Diavolos.
Diavolos, tell her. She can't rule our people.
Don't drag me into this.
You don't even care that she's talking about taking away our kingdom?
I didn't say that. But I also can't say I'd mind a vacation after an entire life of war. Besides, she certainly can't do a worse job than father.
Zenobia turns to a random soldier.
You. Would you choose the Neverkiss or the Black Asps?
The soldier looks from Zenobia to Adder and back.
Nope.
What?
Nope, I wouldn't choose neither. Hex with you both, I'm moving to Panrion.
Well, then, it looks like it's up to me. Ruler of Abanthus will go to the Black Asps.
Adder nods approvingly.
Unbelievable.
Oh, you'll believe it soon enough. There are going to be some big changes in Lycos.
Changes like what?
Oh, you know, taking from the rich, giving the poor.
But I'm the rich.
Catches on quick, this one.
Zenobia sulks.
This is ridiculous. If I'm not ruling, what am I supposed to do all day? Go to balls, shop for dresses, wine and dine noblemen, lounge around in my evening gown, and... Actually, wait. This sounds great.
That's what I'm saying.
Kenna makes her way towards a group of nervous-looking Iron Empire guards, surrounding a familiar face.
Hi, Kenna. Good morning, Your Majesty.
Good morning, Your Radiance.
Leah's eyes light up as she takes in her glimmering gown.
You look very pretty.
Thank you. As do you.
Leah blushes. Not far away, Jordan grips his spear, eyes flicking suspiciously towards every passing guest.
Jordan, please relax. The war is over.
With all due respect, that does not mean the danger has passed. I look forward to the mending of bridges between our kingdoms, but there are many on both sides who will nurse grudges for years to come. Whether here or in Marasi, the spear will never leave my hands, and I will never leave your side.
Leah sighs and turns to Clover.
Won't you talk to him?
Certainly, Your Radiance.
Clover turns to Joran.
Joran?
Yes?
You're doing an excellent job.
Leah sighs.
Leah, Joran is right. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that even kind rulers have enemies. So be grateful for loyal guardians, and treat them kindly. No matter how much they may annoy you, you will miss them when they're gone.
Well put.
Leah swallows, nodding fiercely.
Yes, Your Majesty. Thank you for the advice. I shall take it to heart.
Kenna leans in to give Leah a hug. Jordan watches her carefully, but gives a small nod of respect.
Take care of yourself, Leah. I think you'll make a fine leader, and I look forward to becoming your friend.
I'd like that.
Kenna finds Whitlock chatting with a few workers. The workers take their leave as she approaches, and Whitlock turns towards her.
Good morning, Kenna.
Good morning, Whitlock. Were those Stormholt masons I saw you chatting with just now?
Yes, and carpenters from Panrion. I've been helping them draw up blueprints for the wall repairs before I go.
I suppose you're heading back to the foundry after the ceremony?
Yes, it's been fun running around like a storybook, here with you, but I'm afraid the technocrats have a lot of rebuild to do.
Let me know if there's anything Stormholt can do to assist.
Thank you, but I think we'll manage. We are a city of builders after all.
Nearby, Madeline looks up from a notebook.
Truth to be told, we were probably due for a good overhaul anyway. The foundry was starting to show its age, unlike myself.
Kenna notices Hex not sitting far away, shackled and under close guard. She catches her eyes and shoots her a tentative smile.
What will happen to her?
I'm afraid that's not up to me. Hex has a lot of crimes to answer for. She'll stand trial before a technocrat tribunal. That said, you are a queen, not to mention the one who captured Hex. You have grounds to submit a sentencing recommendation. Say has already offered one on behalf of the fire users. Would you like to offer one on behalf of Stormholt?
I recommend a harsh sentence. Hex has hurt a lot of people. If you want my advice, lock her in a dark hole and throw away the key.
Whitlock nods sadly.
I'll give the tribunal your recommendation.
Whitlock holds out his hand.
Take care of yourself, leader of the technocrats.
You as well, Queen of Stormholt.
Kenna solemnly shakes Whitlock's hand, then breaks out grinning and sweeps him into a hug.
Alright, you're embarrassing me in front of the other rulers.
You'd better get used to it now. I'll be doing it for the rest of your life.
From outside, Kenna hears the rising clamor of bells ringing cheerfully atop the castle walls.
Attention everyone! The ceremony is beginning shortly.
As Kenna's friends and allies find their seats, Kenna makes her way towards the doors, where Jackson awaits.
Are you ready for this?
I'm nervous.
That's perfectly natural, Your Majesty. On the day I got married, I was such a wreck. I forgot my own name during the vows.
Is that supposed to make me feel better?
Jackson laughs.
Shall we?
As the chatter dies down to a low murmur, Jackson takes Kenna's arm and escorts her towards the dais. As Kenna passes, people murmur in awe at Kenna's dress.
Looks like Annalise's instinct for fashion was right again.
That's an understatement.
I'm sorry your mother couldn't be here for this, or Gabriel, or Leon, or...
Kenna pats his hand.
They are here, Jackson.
Yes, I suppose they are. Oh, hells, I promised myself I wouldn't cry.
Jackson lifts his head high and proud to hide the tears in his eyes, as Kenna climbs the dais and turns to face the assembly.
I present the hero of the Five Kingdoms, Her Royal Majesty Queen Kenna Reese of Stormholt. Long may she reign, and her betrothed.
Jackson gives the signal. The assembly turns in their seats as the door begins to crack open, and a line of light spills across the floor, revealing
King Dominic of Stormholt.
The muttering crowd is immediately drowned out by the echoing cheers of Stormholt's soldiers lining the walls. Glowing in the sunlight, Dom strides down the aisle, ascends the dais, and stands at Kenna's side.
Hi there.
Hi yourself.
I think I'm gonna faint.
Nervous?
No, you're just the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Jackson clears his throat.
We gather here today to join these two souls in sacred covenant and pay witness to their vows. Dominic, your vows?
Dominic takes Kenna's hands in his, smiling.
I have loved you, Kenna Rise, since I was 6 years old. Growing up, you were the center of my world, and everyone knew it. And I can't tell you the number of times I've heard, Dominic, give up. You're not good enough for her. It's taken me a long time to realize. They were right. I wasn't good enough for you.
Dom squeezes Kenna's hand.
I was a brash, cocky stall hand with nothing. No family, no friends. You were this powerful princess surrounded by nobles, with everything in front of you. And I felt like I'd never be enough. Sometimes I look at you, and I catch my own reflection in your eyes, and I see this other person.
Kenna notices tears starting to well in Dom's eyes.
And he's right there, within my reach, like a suit of shining armor I could step right into. I guess what I'm trying to say is, you make me a better man.
The audience melts with ahs and sighs.
Jackson, are they crying? Did I make anyone cry?
Hush.
Jackson turns to Kenna.
Kenna, your vows.
Dom, the past few years have been a whirlwind, containing some of the brightest and darkest moments of my life. But you were always there with me, the light at the end of a very long tunnel. You make me feel strong, like I could build castles, tear down conquerors, move mountains, and change the world. And I can't wait to start a family with you. Stormholt is known for a lot of things. High walls, fierce soldiers, but there's something different it has always meant to me. Love, family, and children. And I can't wait to share that with you.
The crowd sighs.
Beautiful, both of you. Now then, is there anyone who objects to this union?
Jackson shoots a glare around the room, hand on his sword, daring anyone to make a sound.
No? Good. Then I pronounce this blessed covenant sealed with a kiss.
Kenna lifts her gaze into the eyes of her beloved. As her lips press softly and sweetly against Dom's, the room applauds.
I love you too.
Raising their clasped hands, Kenna turns to face the cheering assembly as the doors open and the celebration begins. Outside, the ravaged landscape comes to life with drinking, dancing, games, music, parades, and more. The hours fly by, and amidst the celebration, Kenna bumps into some familiar faces. When Kenna finds Val, she's collecting her winnings from a game of flinch with two Stormholt soldiers.
Oh, hells!
I told you this was a dumb idea.
Hey, don't sell yourself short. You almost had me that time. Maybe if you just put down a few more coins and try again.
And here I thought we'd finally civilized you.
Val snorts as Kenna approaches.
Fat chance on that.
Kenna joins her at a nearby table, where she pours herself a drink.
So, guess you're here to say goodbye, eh?
Am I going somewhere?
No, but I am. War's over, so it's back to the mercenary life for old Val. Muddy camps and arm wrestling for ale and all that.
I think I have a better idea, if you'd like to hear it.
I'm listening.
Val, how would you like to become my Master at Arms?
Depends. What does that mean?
It means you'd be in charge of training all of Stormholt's guards and soldiers.
Who, me? Teaching knights and rich kids a bunch of fancy pants footwork so they can go win fancy pants tournaments?
You can teach however you want.
Wait, seriously? You give me a whole castle armory and servants and whatever, and I could just do whatever I want?
Yes.
Could I throw away the footwork and teach your knights to fight dirty?
Sure.
Could I make them muck the stables and tell them it's part of the training?
Any fool who would question the methods of the great Master Greaves obviously hasn't seen her fight.
Val sits back, grinning.
Well, hells. You drive a hard bargain. Alright then, highest up.
Val lifts her drink in salute and knocks it back with one swig.
Master Greaves.
Kenna joins Annalise at a long picnic table where she's watching her dancers.
Kenna, dear, take a seat. Shall I pour you a glass of wine and toast your victory?
Please, no. I've had so many victory toasts this afternoon, my head is swimming.
You'll have to learn to pace yourself better at parties, now that the war is over.
Annalise lifts her wine glass, taking a tiny sip, and winks at Kenna.
So, I suppose you'll be heading back to Aurelia soon?
Annalise sighs wistfully, setting down her glass.
Yes, I'm afraid so. You've got quite a lot of work to do.
I still remember the first time I came to the city.
Yes, I seem to recall a desperate traveler claiming to be a queen.
Your guards almost turned me away. Imagine where we would be now if they had.
Annalise shudders.
Perish the thought. I think we'll be revisiting our closed gate policy soon, among others.
Oh?
Yes, Aurelia spent too long drinking and dancing idly away, hidden away from the world. Time to change that. After all, someone's gonna have to pay to rebuild the 5 kingdoms. Might as well stop up before more desperate travelers come calling.
Speaking of which, I happen to have a castle in need of some minor renovations.
Kenna and Annalise share a laugh, then spend a few minutes enjoying the show in the warm afternoon. She then finds Raiden sitting alone on the hillside, looking out over the celebration.
Am I interrupting your brooding?
Not at all. I'm in fine spirits, but I have been meaning to talk with you about something.
He pats the grass behind him, and Kenna sits.
I suppose this is the part where you say goodbye and tell me you're returning to Aurelia?
A reasonable assumption. Aurelia is still in ruin, and there is a great deal of work to be done. However, I've spoken with Annalise on the subject, and we're in agreement.
Agreement on what?
That my talents would be of more use here, as a Stormhold's spy master.
What about Aurelia?
Raiden sighs wistfully, scratching his chin.
Once Aurelia needed me. It was a den of vipers, each fighting to slid her to the top. But those days are past. The city is stable now.
And Stormhold isn't?
Your Majesty, there are many words I would use to describe Stormhold, but stable is not one of them. Stormhold will be a great kingdom soon, and great kingdoms attract schemers like termites. Let someone else worry about keeping your pests under control, so you can focus on ruling and living.
And what about you? If you're busy working all the time, when will you start living?
My work is my life.
That sounds like a very clever excuse.
It's not an excuse. It's...
Raiden is interrupted by the sound of footsteps. They turn to find Auron nervously approaching.
Hello, Kenna. Raiden.
Oh, good evening, Auron. Is there something I can help you with?
No. Well, yes, you see, I noticed that there are, that is to say, people are dancing, and I was wondering if,
He'd love to.
Raiden starts to object, then catches Kenna's expression and stops himself with a laugh.
Yes, I would love to.
Raiden stands, dusts himself off, and gallantly bows.
Auron, may I have these dance?
Auron's face flushes.
Yes, please. I would like that very much.
Raiden and Auron link arms and head off towards the music. Kailani and the fighters from Panrion are taking turns throwing hatchets into the wooden beams of a broken catapult.
Well, if it ain't the lady of the hour.
Having fun?
Always.
Kailani chucks her hatchet into the beam with a solid thunk, then turns to chat.
I heard some of your carpenters are staying behind with repairs to the walls. I wanted to thank you for that.
Least we could do. Besides, not heading back to handle things in Panrion so I've got plenty of time for a little Stormholt vacation.
Speaking of Panrion, what's next for you all?
Getting richer than a salt cellar during jelly season.
Come again?
Well, now that Azora's gone, there is a whole new world that just opened up for trading. And it just so happens there is an ocean between us. That means ships are going to be in high demand. And that means Panrion's about to become the busiest shipyard in the world.
I see. I don't suppose there's any chance of Stormholt getting a discount.
Stormholt? Nah, wouldn't be fair to the other kingdoms. But for my good friend Kenna? Sure, I think we could work something out.
Jackson is leaning on a broken bit of wall by the gate when she finds him.
Your Majesty, enjoying the festivities?
It's all wonderful, Jackson, and the ceremony was beautiful. Thank you for officiating.
Happy to do it. Congratulations to both of you.
They stand together and look out over the blasted landscape.
You can almost forget there was a battle here just a week ago.
And in a few months, you won't be able to tell it all.
You think so?
I know so. After all, this'll be, what, the 6th time we've rebuilt Stormholt? We're getting pretty good at it.
That's the spirit!
At the sound of her voice, Kenna turns to find Eleni climbing over some rubble to join.
Good day, Helene.
Your Majesty.
How are you and your men settling in?
Very well, thank you for asking.
And the matter we discussed?
Already underway. I sent notice out to the local villages just this morning, calling on fresh young recruits. It's going to take some doing to re-establish Stormholt's border patrols and tax routes, but I look forward to the work.
And I look forward to someone else taking charge of all that, so I can sit on my rear at home for a while.
Eleni bows and takes her leave.
By the way, Jackson, I wanted to say thank you for your friendship. You're a loyal soldier and a brave knight, but you're also more than that. You're a good person, and I treasure the fact that I can call you my friend.
Jackson's eyes shine with pride.
Thank you, Kenna. That means the world to me.
Kenna hears a distant shouting and turns to see Sparky bounding towards her with half-roasted chicken in his mouth.
Hey! That's mine! Get your own dinner, you mutt!
Sparky drops the roast chicken at Kenna's feet, tail wagging.
Hi, Kenna. I like this party. There are so many good smells and foods and happy friends. Can I stay forever?
Kenna stoops and scratches his ear.
Of course you can. Though you might want to get a move on, or Val's going to catch up and take back that chicken.
Never!
Sparky snatches the chicken off the ground, shoots between Kenna's legs, and scurries across the castle courtyard.
If we're supposed to be rebuilding, we've got our work cut out for us, with a wolf running wild inside the castle.
After what he did during the battle, he deserves to run wild for a while. We all do.
As the day wears on, Kenna ducks away from the festivities.
And where do you think you're going?
Rowan, I was just, stepping away for a few minutes to catch my breath.
You wouldn't happen to be avoiding a certain tedious negotiation on taxes and trade routes with a certain ruler of Thorngate?
Of course not.
Good. Then we can talk over a hunt. Say the first thing tomorrow?
Gods, you're ruthless.
Just wait until the negotiations begin.
Kenna makes her way across the courtyard when a distinctive whistle catches her ear.
2 short blasts.
Kenna hears a rush of wings. Blaze whips past her head. She follows his flight across the courtyard and up to a familiar figure on a nearby wall.
Hey, up here.
There you are.
Kenna makes her way up the stairs and joins Dom on the ramparts. Blaze perches on the stones, talons clicking as he nuzzles Dom's fingertips.
I was wondering where you'd gotten to. Sneaking away from your own royal feast.
In my defense, so are you.
Fair enough.
Kenna stands side by side, leaning on the wall and looking out over the lands of Stormholt.
I can't believe it's finally over. It doesn't feel real yet.
I know what you mean. I keep waiting for the next explosion.
Some new bad guy?
Oh my gods, Val's been kidnapped.
Grab the horses, we're going after her.
In the distance, the sun is beginning to set.
I wonder if this is what the end of a story feels like.
Maybe, but I don't think any story ever really ends. It just changes.
You think?
Well, look at how your story's changed. Princess, to exile, to conqueror, to queen.
And yours? Castle servant, to saboteur, to mythical hero, to king. I wonder what comes next.
Actually, I've been meaning to talk to you about that.
Blazes coos quietly as Dom scratches his neck.
What is it?
Well, I've been thinking about what kind of king I want to be, what's important to me, and how I can help. Have you talked to Say? Did she tell you what comes next for the Fire Tribe?
Yes, she said they're coming down out of the mountains.
Well, I've been thinking about that, and I think it's going to be more complicated than she's imagining.
You're probably right. We'll have to rewrite the maps and add a 6th kingdom.
And a whole new people who can shoot fire from their hands and turn into dragons. There's going to be friction. Lands, food, resources. The tribes are going to need someone to advocate for them.
So, you want to become... what? Some kind of ambassador?
That's the word I've been trying to think of all week. An ambassador.
Sounds like you'll be travelling away from Stormholt a lot.
Maybe every now and then, but I'll always come home. And you can always come with me.
A summer home in the Black Spines, huh?
Now you're talking.
Well, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And that reminds me about another thing. How much do you know about the spirit world?
Based on what you've told me, it sounds strange.
Oh, you have no idea? The spirit world is full of strange things. Cryptic riddles, creepy shadow people, all these rules you have to follow. Except sometimes you're not supposed to follow them, but there are good things about it too, like this guy.
So, why did you bring it up?
Well, how would you like to go there?
What? Is that even possible?
I don't know. Probably. I mean, I learned how to do it. And I'd bet you pick it up just fine.
Don't you have to be a fire user? And didn't you say something about sitting inside a volcano?
I think that's just how they find it. The volcano is their spiritual center. Maybe that's why it was so tough for me at first. I don't have the same connection to the volcano they do.
So, what would my center be?
Think about it. What's the most important place in the world to you?
My center is Stormholt. This place. It's my home. My heart. My soul.
Exactly. Everything the volcano represents to the fire users. That's what this castle is for you. It would take some time, but I think I can teach you how to enter the spirit world. Though your connection to Stormholt, it won't bring Leon back, but it might give you a chance to say goodbye. There might be other spirits there too. So, what do you say?
Teach me.
Great, we can start tomorrow.
I can't wait. Thank you, Dom.
Dom pulls Kenna into a hug. Then she turns and looks out over the wall and lets out a long, happy sigh as she watches the sun set over the fields of Stormholt. It's a cool, peaceful morning in Stormholt as Kenna steps through the main gates. Jackson trails a step behind.
Are you sure you wish me to accompany you, Your Majesty? I could be helping with the festivities.
What's this? Stormholt's crown guardian is offering to leave his queen unattended.
Come on, a baby could wander the length of Stormholt without getting so much as a stub toe. You've seen that. Speaking of which...
Hearing a noise, Kenna turns back to see a frazzled servant hurrying forward, carrying a squirming bundle in his arms.
Looks like someone doesn't feel like a nap today. Come here, little Gabriel.
Kenna takes Gabriel from the servant, bouncing the now smiling baby on her hip.
I don't know how I'm supposed to get anything done around here. Look at these little cheeks. I could just pinch them all day.
Gabriel swats at Kenna's hands, chuckling happily as she continues down the grassy slope. Eventually, Kenna comes to the royal burial ground, stopping before the newest of the graves. Here lies Leon Sterling, trusted advisor, fearless champion, loyal friend.
Decent of that new empress to return his body.
Yes, I have high hopes for Leah. So far, she's proving to be a much kinder ruler than her mother.
Kenna hears soft footsteps on the grass behind Kenna. Turning, she smiles as Dom walks over to stand beside her. He smiles back, ruffling her hair.
Hey, I just combed that. You want me to look like a fool in front of my subjects?
Pretty much always.
Dominic kisses the messy tangle of her hair. Dominic plucks Gabriel out of Kenna's arms.
Do you know what time it is? Time for tickles!
Dominic furiously tickles Gabriel's tummy.
Watch out. I hear Daddy's almost as ticklish as Gabriel.
Kenna closes her eyes for a moment, breathing in the scent of the fresh grass.
I can't believe it's already been a year since we defeated Azura.
Tell me about it. I feel like I only just recovered from last Victory Day's hangover.
Well, you better get ready, my friend. Val has a barrel of Skullcracker ale with your name on it. Literally. She wrote Jackson's drinking this whole barrel on it in big red letters.
Gods preserve me.
Gurgling, Gabriel reaches towards Leon's headstone.
You want to say hello?
Kenna sits Gabriel down on the ground. Gabriel presses both hands against Leon's name, then looks up at Kenna quizzically.
I'm sure he's happy to see you too.
Smiling, Kenna lays her palm against Leon's headstone, warming the stone with her hand.
I'm glad to have you back, old friend. There's so much I want to say to you.
Kenna's voice catches in her throat. She bows her head, tears welling in her eyes.
I think it's time, Kenna. It's time for you to step into the spirit world.
But what if I can't? What if he's not?
Kenna, we've been training for a year, and you're a way better student than I ever was. You can do it. I know it.
Kenna hesitates, then nods. Kenna closes her eyes, focusing on her breathing. She feels the ancient stones beneath her, hear the whisper of trees, and the song of a nearby brook. The winds of Stormholt seem to blow through her, and she feels herself being swept away. Kenna comes to rest on a twinkling path among ethereal blue clouds.
It's just like Dom said. Hello? Is anyone there?
Kenna's voice seems tiny as it echoes in a vast expanse. At first, she's met with only silence, then...
Kenna.
That voice.
Kenna turns, not daring to believe, and sees a broad-shouldered man in shining armor striding towards on the path.
Well? Are you just gonna stand there gawking, or are you...
Kenna plows into Leon, nearly knocking him down with the force of her hug.
You're here. You're really here. Leon, there's so much to tell you. We rescued Dom. We defeated Azura.
Slow down. I want to hear everything. Especially the part about you thrashing that white-haired witch.
Kenna tells Leon everything as they walk among the stars, clouds swirling around her ankles, as she continues into the strange blue night.
Hells, I wish I could have seen that battle, but it sounded like you got along fine without me.
I wish you'd been there too. I wish...
Kenna trails off, and Leon gives her a rough pat on the shoulder.
Don't you cry now, or I'll start blubbering too.
Can't have that.
At least not in front of those two. I'll never hear the end of it.
Those two? What are you talking about?
Smiling, Leon gestures to the path ahead, where two figures emerge from the swirling mist.
My queen.
Hello, my little butterfly.
Gabriel. Mother.
Kenna rushes forward into their embrace, happy tears flowing down her cheeks.
It is so good to see you again, Kenna. Are you well?
Better, now that you're here, Gabriel. I'm trying to rule as you taught me. It's hard sometimes, but whenever I'm struggling, I just ask myself, what would Gabriel say?
You honor me, my queen.
Gabriel clasps Kenna's shoulder, his eyes twinkling with unshed tears.
But you have already grown far beyond my wildest hopes. I am so proud of you, Kenna.
Kenna smiles, pulling back from the hug. Then she turns to her mother.
Mother, I finally got married.
You did? Kenna, that's wonderful. Why, I was starting to think you would never settle down.
Hold on. No one said anything about settling down. I just said that I got married.
Well, I suppose I'll have to take what I can get.
I wish you could see Stormholt, Mother. I wish you could see your dream of peace come true at last. I wish you could meet your grandchild. Gabriel looks a lot of like...
Kenna's mother sways, as if she's about to faint.
Grandchild?
Leon steadies her with his strong hands, smirking at Kenna.
Ease up, Kenna. She might die again from happiness.
Tears of joy trickle down Adriana's face as she claps her hands.
Even if I'm not there to see, it's enough knowing that the 5 kingdoms are finally at peace, and that Stormholt has such a worthy queen, Kenna. I'm so glad to see the woman you've become. You're more than I could have ever wished for.
Gabriel reaches up to squeeze Kenna's shoulder.
I know you will lead them well, my queen.
We'll be here if you need us.
Thank you. All of you.
They're pulled into another tight embrace. Kenna feels herself lifted on a cool, familiar wind. Kenna finds herself back at Leon's gravestone. Beyond it are the graves of Kenna's mother and Gabriel. Kenna feels a warmth in her chest, and knows, though she's lost, will never be far away.
Good talk?
Yeah. Good talk.
As Kenna wades through the long grass, she notices Dom glancing around, an amused expression on his face.
What are you grinning about?
I just realized this is where we used to spar. Remember that?
I remember more kissing than sparring.
Dom laughs.
Yeah, I do seem to recall a lot of flirty tackles. It's just as well. Turned out later I was a dragon the whole time. So I probably would have been too much for you to handle.
Dom, I used to beat you as a kid. Regularly.
Wow, I think Queen Kenna Rise is starting to get senile in her old age. You and I have very different recollections of events.
Dom holds Gabriel up to his face.
Is Mommy getting senile? Yes, she is.
You know, there is a way to settle this.
Careful now, Your Majesty.
Or what?
Or I might just have to give you a history lesson.
Nearby, Jackson rolls his eyes.
Here we go again.
Gabriel shrieks with laughter in Dom's arms as Jackson steps forward.
Come here, little one. Go easy this time, you two.
Kenna and Dom square off on the hillside.
Well, show me what you've got. Or are you too worried I'll bruise that pretty face of yours?
Oh, so my face is pretty now.
Typical. You only hear what you want to hear. Get ready for a beating.
Dom raises his weapon and strikes. Their sticks clack together, playfully at first, as their first circle in the grass.
Is that all you've got?
I could breathe fire on you if you prefer.
Is that what it takes for you to beat me?
Dom lunges. Kenna catches his blow and finds herself with weapons locked, faces an inch apart.
This'll wipe the smile off your face.
Kenna casts aside her weapon, steps into Dom's embrace, and brings her lips to his. They pull apart briefly.
What?
I said no fair.
Dom, would you shut up and kiss me?
Dom's weapon falls away as his hands find her waist, and their lips press together. A gentle wind blows over the long green grass. Meanwhile, down in the kitchens.
Hello? Maker of food. I smell bacon. Is there bacon? And may I have some? I've been very good. But you are not bacon.
Sparky puts his paws up on the table, sniffing Bubbles' jar.
What are you? Are you food? Then why are you in the food house? I see. Well then, do you know where the bacon is?
Bubbles lifts a tentacle and points.
Aha!
Sparky bounds up on the table, seizing a thick slab of bacon and shaking it savagely from side to side.
Of course, I was just making sure I was dead.
Sparky rips off a piece of bacon, dropping it into Bubbles' jar.
You are welcome, small squishy friend. You are a strange dog, but I like you.
Sparky settles down beside Bubbles, and both tear happily into their dinner.